When most of us see a van, we think FedEx or UPS, in other words, a utility vehicle. Well, Mark Murphy, who is a drifter that lives in Thailand, has an Escort van, and he looked at his van and thought, you know what, this would make a great drift machine. And so the build started. Now let's start by looking at a stock Escort van, and then we will walk through everything Mark did to his van that makes it so special. So originally, this van was powered by a 1.1 litre that made a whopping 48 horsepower. How he saw a drift machine, this I really don't know. The car reached 60 in a blistering 22.3 seconds, and she went all the way to a top speed of 80 miles per hour. Now before we get into the build and everything he did, if you like this style of video, I'll leave a link to a playlist where we took a deep dive into a few other insane builds that people have done. Oh, and subscribe if you enjoy too, please and thank you. Sorry for the plug, back to the build. When the project started, there was a lot of work that needed to be done. The body was full of rust, so bad in fact that some pieces of the car had to be cut out completely and replaced with new metal. The amount of body filler he had to use in some places was just insane, and if you want, I'll leave a link to where you can see the restoration process. In my opinion, he did a really good job. He also gave the Escort a wider track and some wide fenders, which I must say looks freaking amazing. There's just something about a nice and wide Escort that gets me going. Under the body you will find a mix of R33 Skyline and S14 components, which gave him a good foundation to build upon. I mean, the aftermarket suspension support, especially for drifting, you gain from using S14 and R33 parts is just huge. But you need more than just a good suspension setup to drift. You also need power. This is the fun part. Now, when you think drifting and engine swaps, what engine comes to mind? If you said SR20 or LS, you would be wrong. But if you guessed 2JZ, you would be correct. Yes, this Escort van is powered by a 3 litre 2JZ GTE engine, and it's not single turboed. She is still running the twin turbo setup since Mark's goal was only reaching 500 horsepower, which isn't particularly difficult to reach in a 2J. The engine is paired with a R154 5-speed gearbox, and the power is obviously sent to the rear wheels only since it's meant to be a drift machine. And the thing I probably like most about this build is the fact that the dude doesn't build the cars just for show. He uses the car in Gymkhana events and competes with it. Imagine lining up next to an old Ford on a Gymkhana grid. That's really cool. This isn't Mark's only project. He has a few Escorts, and I really like his MK1 Escort too. This one is powered by SR20 DET, and he also competes with it in Gymkhana events. I am excited to follow the process of this Escort further. It's not done yet. He still wants to do a few things, and I think it's probably going to be one of the coolest cars in Thailand and probably one of the coolest Escorts in the world. If you guys want to follow it with me, I'll leave a link to the form where I found the car. There's not a lot on the car, like I said, it's just what he posted on his YouTube, and then some people commenting on the work he has done. There's no like specific stuff. It's not like the video I made on Adam LZ's 335. I was easy because everything is documented. You know exactly what he did. This is really tough because there's not much on the car, but I'll leave a link to the whole build process, the form and everything, because the guy puts out updates every few years. Yes, years. He started with this thing like 5 years ago, so it takes a while. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I've got more car content. I've got more of this build analysis videos. I've got list videos. I've got videos on specific cars like newer cars, older cars, whatever. I've got a build series on my personal car. I've got a bunch of videos on motorcycles since I ride. I'll check you guys in the next one. Cheers,